TV. Oh yeah. Unale we pledge with love and loyalty to we sweet, sweet mama salute. Now we all come together as one. For tomorrow, now we go make salute.
Let's take this very famous saying: if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. Family, now welcome back to yet another very important program where they come through the Talking Point platform. Today, we get issues that we'll get for can deliberate on. One of them where a lot of people don't they wait for. A lot of people don't they call for. When this go happen, when we go read this. Today, perhaps you said we'll get the privilege, the first time for can read some of the plans there where Dr. Samura Kamara, the standard flag bearer, now a presidential aspirant for the APC, in manifesto waiting he gets for Salon people. As we say, every details of it we go tell now, word by word. Also in the program, we're going to look at the letter where the Commonwealth sent to Dr. Samura, where awareness time lay handsome. A lot of people no get opportunity for see that letter there, but we go put an aya, even though blurry, for long as see what's in the inside there. But why would they put letter in the first place? Would they put on there because issues and they will analyze? Another thing we'll go look at. We'll look at ECSL, then controversial photo them do, where them 0.5 people don't interpret it as say it mean supporting President Bio another 5 years. But why this even important? We'll look at it also. Again, we'll look at one viral video. We don't go around on the social media where a lot of people don't see them. The video where an SLPP, somebody they claims in an SLPP, they talk for kill APC people. And also we'll look at previous videos and similar utterances from different people where we go add now the program. As always, you text, you comment, we highly appreciate them. Most probably today we go open the line, let's say get the opportunity for call. And always thank you hard. You talking hard, spicy to for make the program juicy. So not gonna start as they can look into the issues there thoroughly and more broadly. We can just now.
Talking Point platform for news every day now we country alone. For education, entertainment, political affairs, TV. We got enough Tanga one inside Sierra Leone, like a big quantity. We breeze not a shit, TV.
You know, like you always say, what a man he word can make, it can break. And then so we say proper planning prevents problem. And perhaps what it make for, you see, white man, they're always there ahead of we, now because they do thorough proper planning. It's not about just saying the plans there, it's about proper planning. And why make most governments around the world, or particularly in our own case, Sierra Leone, now because we know the plan, we know they even know what we mean, what do they say. So your word means a lot. Political statements don't turn to reality, don't change lives. At the same time, political statements they don't destroy nation, it don't degrade people. So each and every moment, particularly when we're inside the democratic dispensation, we get leaders there where they come up with plans, then call a manifesto. In the previous regime of President Julius Maada Bio, it be promised 536 plans. These are action promises there where it say if they get power, it deliver. But you go be the judge over that, not to that to come. Not to that to the camp we can look at. So they look at now Dr. Samura Kamara in. But today, what we go do, we go only take two because along a Baku, and we not go and just push everything to people there. No, if we do so, then definitely, I think we don't do the service to the people. So what you plan for do with a counter 2 by 2 or 2 or 3 components there. Today, we can look at the thing where Samura said when he came into power, they look at the first thing first we'll see now the manifesto we will put up now the issue of corruption. Now, why corruption even important? Well, they can't tell you all this about that. Another thing where they look at affordable housing for all Sierra Leoneans. Perhaps for me, this one are the most novelty. Me not be no, I don't feel say I don't see manifesto, except I forget. Say any of the presidential candidates back then don't actually tell say then they can create affordable housing for Sierra Leoneans. So this is the first time we get, according to my own knowledge, where a presidential candidate they tell Salon people and say the issue of housing it go solver. But with me in the program, I get one big alejo when the chairman for APC Birmingham chapter. He go greet himself. He go greet you all the listening. Yeah, Mr. Samura Kamara, welcome to the program. You get me? You get me? All right, Fambula seems as if Mr. Bremer they get issues with the setup there. But anyway, we push on go Lord push small the program. First thing first, Lord puts the first one, Lord puts alone a C. Now this as soon as they see this now the first thing where Dr. Samura Kamara say they can do. Corrupt crime and corruption. Now, me family, this not a new thing. Every Sierra Leonean, even that picking them we're just born, we don't get sense. 5-6 years, then 10 for understand what's in a corruption. Corruption don't become so endemic. If it don't become so dangerous, or even it still cause more harm. Perhaps corruption for we don't say as a national threat, an existential threat to its existence as a nation. Corruption itself, if we say what they can talk about, whether it's the fabric of every facet of our society, we know go communaya. But today, not about corruption they talk about. They talk about somebody who say they get solution affects corruption in the country. Where now the APC presidential aspirant, Dr. Samura Kamara, this now manifesto. We don't lay hands on yeah, all right, so family, I go be we small because Mr. Kamara, the looks he gets issues with the setup there. So family, now some people and go still want to know how this.
You there hear me now?
Yes, you can greet family when they listen you now.
Mr. Kagwe, you there hear me?
Are they yes, you can greet family now when they listen you fire wide.
Okay, hello, good evening. Everywhere you there, good evening, good morning, good afternoon. My
All
name
right.
is
You get me?
Yeah, they get to now, yeah.
All right. Okay. So family, I want to take una back to history. Always, if I no remember, we shall come out. They will go no South map and we shall one go. And why perhaps in all it's in the way Boku for do for Salon people, Dr. Samura pick say, I go fight crime and corruption. Now we go back. Some of you they watch una born where the war done. But some of you they talk here, including Mr. Bremer. We witness the war, we see the war, we see what it mean. But guess what? After the war be done, then form some children called TRC, Truth and Reconciliation Commission. What did they find out? Lord put alone and see what did they find out. All right, so fam, we just want to come up with something quick. Lona, see, waiting the TRC, we find out. Okay, very good. So fam, as when I see now we screen, the TRC report volume 2, chapter 2, you can go and search this, it did it clearly. The commission found that, this now a quotes, a verbatim, the commission found that the central cause of the war in Sierra Leone was corruption and an overwhelming control of the executive. So if Dr. Samura say they fed corruption, this is now the history. What would the war be done? We set up a commission. The commission found that one of the reasons who makes Salon be going into a bloody war now because of this thing we then call corruption. So I think it makes sense for them. Any serious presidential candidate put this in manifesto. Now, I'll bring you can quickly, Mr. Bremer. Before we can read to the people, the text word by word, how significant in this for let somebody decide based on this history we'll get. You feel say irrelevant at all, or maybe for just ignore because we already don't get ACC, so there's no need for put up. Why you feel say what you think move Dr. Samura for put this crime and corruption as part of a manifesto?
Because the issue of corruption not allowed. It gets worse every day. I mean, the last regime, they appoint, I think, 2 commissioners where they do extremely well. At least you can see people away there and send top people away there and send go court, some man lost in job. But this current one, as it is, I don't see anybody where then say charge go court on either. They don't even accuse them within themselves within the government, a part of go after the opposition. So and corruption is something where not to. But person will say maybe if they talk about continuous improvement, they able measure continuous improvement. But corruption, people able measure. People know say it happen in a salon. And I'll tell you one thing, Mr. Kabo, today. And I go one law church on this later. The people who already thief that country today money more than the civil servant them. Servant them. Some man are 3 million in the PM, but some man within that 3 million they get 4, 5 houses. So it's easy for let you know 6 million. You know they do business.
Yeah. Our apologies,
you the book. It will take you 200.
It seems as if Mr. Kamara
it will take you as 150 and bill out.
All right. I think Fambulela just take them from here because it seems as if Mr. Kamara they get issue with in audio with his system. We know they get them clearly. It crack.
What?
I don't know. The voice now the voice they break. All right, so fam, once we wait for lay adjusting audio, let me read for now waiting then at this manifesto. The first part of the manifesto, now they come up with 2. From there, they come to the second part of the manifesto. Now we read Leone as soon as they see. Now, Dr. Samura Kamara say, my policy on crime and corruption will be a set of principles, strategies, and actions aimed at preventing and reducing criminal activities and corruption within society. Such policies typically will involve collaboration between government agencies, law enforcement, and civil society organizations to promote transparency, accountability, and the rule of law. Some of the key components on my policy on crime and corruption may include 1. Prevention. Our strategies and initiatives will be aimed at addressing the root causes of crime and corruption, such as poverty, lack of education, and social inequality. Law enforcement, number two. Famule, law we just, I don't know if you, Mr. Kamara, they get we, they get we, Mr. Burma.
Yes, I did get to. Yes,
Okay,
I did get you
now,
clear.
I
You
know,
did get
now,
me?
yeah, we get you. I want to break am down to Famule step by step, so then we'll get to the point. From what I see, Dr. Samura in manifesto, the first one for Sona crime and corruption, he not put Bokuti in
Yeah,
no. He just put five
yeah,
things there where say if they get empower now
yeah,
this will do for corruption. No, let's
yeah,
take the one, let you analyze and for let people understand. He said number
yeah,
one, prevention. Our strategies and initiative will
yeah.
be aimed at addressing the root cause of crime and corruption, such as poverty, lack of education, and social inequality. Why if you say Dr. Samura Kamara decide for put prevention first?
Um, because it is the key. Uh, I am sure that he will get. This is just a brief statement. He will get a strategy for go details once he become president. How for prevent corruption? Even though I will tell you that it's very difficult for prevent them, but he go try for minimize them. Let me just give you an example here in the UK. USA a day. I'm not too sure whether they can get any anti-corruption office. There are people where the police they involve, then they help do the job. I think you get another anti-crime agency. They help for do this job. So in Sierra Leone, we in as much as we get anti-corruption, we get the police. So certain things then they once it comes to corruption matters. I think governments have not for suffer too much on that. The police for they do their job. If you corrupt you, then for arrest you, then that go stop. If they and salon with people and once they set example on them, then other people and then they follow suit at all. So we need for find a strategy how we for prevent this thing or minimize them. I'm sure Dr. Samurai Manifesto talk deeper than the bullet points no more way it just mentioned there. But yes, prevention is the key. And as I mentioned earlier, we cannot prevent it absolutely, but we will try as much as we mitigate them and see better and enforcement side of it go come inside as well. But in preventing that, probably I will assume sometime they and I mess them, we go decide for saying talk to people with option they really disturb it.
All right, so family,
Do you
let's
hear
jump
me?
into yeah, we hear you. Though the break, but we hear you. Now we're gonna the next point, the next bullet point. Dr. Samuel Kamara say law enforcement. We will effectively enforce. We will effectively enforcement of laws and regulations through appropriate training and resources for law enforcement personnel and the establishment of strong legal frameworks that enable law enforcement agencies to act decisively against criminal activities and corrupt practices. What do you make of this? You talk about the law
I mean,
enforcement.
Mr. Cabo, in the facing uh, uh, difficulties right now for in your own
Okay.
case now, a typical example when you not commit no crime at all. You they see the law enforcement, the police, the judiciary, no, they're on they're not unbiased. They are biased. Well, maybe they just unpick them and put them into that case. Maybe in case now a witch hunt, but generally cases in a salon, we all know the judiciary, no, they do well. The police, they do well. I mean, I come back to my early point to what I tell you. The reason all why corruption they increase in the country because their agency are always supposed for help cushion the corruption. Then they do their job. In fact, they're even corrupt. In fact, sometimes them become more corrupt past the ordinary man. Because the ordinary man, me or auntie within a village, and not know what in a corruption, sef, the word na
Yeah.
corruption in us Sabia. And then same people here where they that they position here for help make sure say corruption minimize in a salon. Now then the people that we corrupt back. Because if you're a judge, you know able to decide a case, you see evidence, say this man no get case, but no, because you get one way or one agenda, you continue with the case and you just suffer the person. You just suffer the person. You all case 4 years, you do all case 2 years, you do all case 1 year. For drag normal issues. So this is the problem. Now the problem is the law enforcement officers, in need for training. He use the word training.
Yeah.
They require training. Not only training, Mr. Cargo, discipline as well. Would I get for fire, then fire and from in job if he misbehave? Because from the police, the drivers them. Then when you talk about prevention early, as well as prevention, me the I know they bribe nobody na salon. Me not they bribe nobody in a salon for anything what I want. Other, I not go get her no more, but I not go bribe nobody for anything what I want. So if a police officer pull me over, and make sure say I get insurance, and they make sure say I get driving license, a full driving license, and I get insurance, and nothing wrong with motor car. So why police officer for pull me over now? I want bribe for me. I will not bribe you. You can me go court. I able defend that because I not commit no crime. But the thing is, the ordinary man will not go school. The moment they threaten and say, either you give me 500,000 or you will go pay more in a court, then they afraid. Because the justice system not fair to them. The justice system not fair to them. Ordinary Okada man will not get driving license, then will go send on 6 months imprisonment. Why? Because there is no system. System not there. The judiciary bias. So the police then just they do what they want. Anti-corruption, I go say, um, the current team, maybe Dr. Samura, if he come back, he go try for increase them. We get a lot of students them where they graduate from the University of Sierra Leone, we get passion for Sierra Leone. Let's get them. Maybe you would think about something, a national service thing like how Nigeria they do. Who say people they feel say, oh, I own it to my country. This is not just about me, but this is about my country. Wherein we get this bond and believe say if then choose me for that be anti-corruption officer, I for do the right job. But one thing at this alone during the Ebola, Mr. Kago, the people away they go beg dead body of Ebola, then they ask family member for money. From that day, now say any side you put Saloman, it defend way out for become corrupt. If for go beg the body,
Oh, really?
man corrupt.
Really?
Yes,
Wow.
I
Hmm?
was there. Yeah. Then they ask the family member for bribe them for go beg body. From that day, I say, any side you put Solomon, it must create one way for become corrupt. So it is a norm. And if you not become corrupt, then they see you as a foolish man. Let me give you one example. I be they work now the private sector. When I come to England, I go work now in the private sector, one of the mining companies. Then the first money was so disciplined. The first money where they can give me, I decide not for all I'm at all. Then come back a second one. The next day I go lunch with somebody who all in at the department. You know what now the word they tell me? He
No.
say, if a man get good job na salon, this is the exact word. If a man get good job na salon, he no make him. He say, then they laugh at more.
Hmm.
Yes. Why? The society of itself accept. So when we go back to the word prevention, maybe it take a lot of education. And it get for take a lot of education. For let me first for refuse, say no, I know they bribe you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can me go court? Then I go hope say when I go court, I will get justice. So you see the step by step. The
Yeah.
first point interconnected to the second point. Let first point, prevention, we educate more people, of our people, and tell them, say, not bribe nobody, depend on the court. Then the court, if you go there, make sure that the courts be unbiased to the people, do the right thing. But it seems like, say, the court and the police, they all connive against the people.
All right, so let's jump to the three points out of the 5 where then Dr. Samura in manifesto for fight against corruption. Number 4 is number 3 rather. Number 3 is punishment. We will prefer appropriate sanctions for individuals who are engaged in criminal activities or corrupt practices, including penalty such as fines, imprisonment, and asset forfeiture. Now, this one, I get interest over this, Mr. Bremer. I get interest.
Yeah.
The reason why I say I get interest on this specifically, I don't feel say this thing they work in a salon. This na my opinion. Because if Dr. Samura Kamara say, I quote, I read again, we will prefer appropriate sanctions for individuals who engage in criminal activities or corrupt practices, including penalties such as fines, imprisonment, and asset forfeiture. For me, I don't feel say this heavy enough. The reason we make I say so, we don't see the government of Sierra Leone during the late President Tijan Kaba, they institute a commission of inquiry for fight corruption, then found Dr. Abbas Bundu guilty of embezzling state funds and then recommend for seize in property there. Now, when government changed, when Dr. Abbas Bundu assumed the position of the Speaker of Parliament, what he do? He use the same Parliament for take in property them back. So if Dr. Samura Kamara they come up with this similar thing, say, when they get power, Ingo make them seize punishment, the forfeiture. No assume Dr. Samura Kamara can have power. We know say yes, people and then at this regime we don't thief. Then found them guilty, then seize them property there. After 10 years or 15 years, anyhow look at it, and then two parties are the exchange, the political goalpost, and then the exchange. If SLPP come, you know, if you see them go take back them property, given the fact of given the example where the precedent where Dr. Abbas Bundu don't set now the country, you feel say this go far enough?
Mr. Kabo, if you see the points there, 1, 2, 3, all interconnected. So when you go back to prevention, as I stated earlier, that education, it requires education. It requires we educating we people them. I know for sure that the people away, some of them were educated Nasalo, they are not the most uneducated in other way. I know that for sure. But it takes education. It takes people and for believe say Sierra Leone is ours, not to individual. And with the practice of democracy, the greatest good for the greatest number. So if we don't get that belief, something like that don't happen, whatever government come back for respect the law, but it all come back to corruption. That is, we don't even respect the constitution, we don't respect the thing they happen. It all come back to corruption. That of itself not corruption. For let you go back na parliament. Who don't remember of parliament?
Yeah.
So we need for come all of that out. So let's start first from educating we people them. More and more people them. And from there, in terms of punishment, not for me, what do you mean? No one see the fines. I don't want to see the fine. I want to see a strong punishment. I want to see a combination or at least a minimum time of imprisonment. And then the Salomon the free. Salomon the free for go prison.
Yeah.
A guaranteed terms of 5 years. If you thief, you for go 5-year imprisonment. Whatever it is. Once not corruption, you for go 5-year imprisonment. Once they do that, trust me, in China, then they execute you where you corrupt.
Yeah. You're right. You're right.
We not say corruption, not they do, but the day when they kill them.
Yeah, you're right.
A need for specified by put certain time, any kind of corruption, minimum 5 years imprisonment, or 2 years imprisonment, or 3 years imprisonment. Saloma no one go prison. If we do that, corruption they minimize.
All right, thank you very much. Just for add 3 points, what you talk so. In China, you're right, now execution. In Japan, people in the kill themselves if they found them. Can you imagine in Japan? This is nothing where they are, you can Google this. Japan, people in the shame they make, he take himself, he commit suicide. In Sierra Leone, would they celebrate them? Would they push them? Yeah, may they go into elective offices there. All right, now go on the fourth point. The fourth point, they talk about international cooperation. My government will collaborate with international organizations to address transnational crime and corruption, including the exchange of information, joint investigations, and prosecution of individuals involved in cross-border criminal activities. What do you make of this?
Well, I mean, this Nina my favorite, and the reason why Nina my favorite, frankly speaking, we all where they come on at the diaspora, when then say election na salon, we they shout, we will take our money, we point to the political parties. Then when we go in, they appoint we, and we are more exposed. We know what to want. We know say one can buy us than we know say one can buy Jaguars and all of the stuff. Yeah, I'm more interested in this honestly, and because the fact here is, when you see the current government, if I put it this way, the people where don't thief, the other way come on at the diaspora, the most don't thief past the other way they salon. Trust me.
You're right. I agree with you 100%.
So we need for work with international organization for we give them money. We need for. If we will not do that, then it is the same thing will continue. As long as now we come on, we sabi the system, we know how to operate, we know what we want, we can't teach the people and money, the people and the suffer they we can buy houses then make we own picking and comfortable wise with people and the suffer. It's a very good point.
Okay. We'll go to the last one. The last one they talk about public education awareness. We will promote initiatives aimed at raising public awareness of the negative impact of crime and corruption and encourage a culture of ethical behavior and civic responsibility. Our policy on crime and corruption will require the sustained commitment and engagement of all stakeholders, including government, civil society, and the private sector. It will be based on sound evidence and data, and it will be continuously evaluated and adjusted to ensure its effectiveness. What do you make up of this last one?
This last one, if you hear me, what they talk about the first one today about prevention, they see the interconnection there, public education, awareness, and people for are aware that say corruption they kill we. Corruption not a good thing, Mr. Cabo. I born na my village. For more born na my village, the water way then where we they drink all small. Why don't big so back I go back now the same water from the stream upstream take handle. You not able fix. Why you not able fix? Because one individual go don't take 1 million, $2 million. It costs with at the channel. He can buy us. In one. A project, let me say something today. Me in a procurement professional. The corruption where they take place within procurement in a salon. In fact, now the corruption they take place when it comes to public sector. The corruption where they take place yonder. One great man, it embezzle money, it bill pass and bill hotel around the country. Why should people and they suffer? This money is not yours, it's people's money. People money. I don't go even want to talk, encourage anybody now talk like how Professor Francis say you can take 1% go. It is not your money. You they work, then they pay you. If your salary not enough for you, ask for more. Ask for more. Let me tell you one thing. I challenge me student then one day. I say even if you didn't pay this kind way we don't do now in a salon. Even if you didn't pay Saloma $50,000 a month, they will still remain corrupt. But that punishment side, if we try for get a guarantee prison terms, I swear to God, Mr. Kabu, corruption they reduce na salon. In as much as we go educate them, we will go bring awareness, because this done day now, it not like a cancer to we now. Because even if you know one corrupt, people they force you for let you corrupt. If you get woke, you the woke na salon, you dey na one corner. That one whole area there, now you one green, all man they come meet. If you get sorry at, then you not get money for help them. All land they push people and for go be corrupt. But if then say if you thief, or okay, if Okada man you not get license, now you will send a 6 month imprisonment. What waiting
Yeah,
wrong for person wake thief government money or thief people money? Why not for go prison? Why not fine? So we need for pull the fine come out day.
exactly.
Maybe the fine will say, okay, that money where you don't thief, count and back. Then you still go 5 year imprisonment. Then somebody just mentioned in commenting there, if in a public position, you not go all again forever.
Yeah, on the comments. Yeah. I agree with you 100% when it comes to, I mean, the crime for commensurate to the action, the punishment, the crime. The we if we declare one of the things where I feel say for declare, we therefore be very honest to ourselves. You touch
Yeah.
something where I buy 100%. Most of the people who they come out diaspora who say they go help, then become more more, then become more corrupt than the people who they don't talk. And I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then another thief like that man who then a salon and Leonce no.
And
So
you
the
also
thief
know.
in Leonce.
Yeah.
But that man will come overseas. Now in dollars or in pound, now
In
add
pound.
currency the thief.
In pounds.
And by so doing, then they wreak serious havoc na the economy.
Yeah.
Then they depreciate we foreign reserve.
Yeah.
Because the worst thing is not to say that they put some money in a salon bank because they afraid say them go trace it. Then they export them back, send them back.
And they export them, Mr. Carbon. And
Yeah,
then they can even buy one horse and then take the other money they invest in the country.
They,
Because
yeah.
if you thief, you invest in the country, then you go able to employ 2-3 people. Then sometimes the problem go release. But no, they're moving the money away from the
They
country.
are moving the money. Exactly. Yeah. But honestly, I agree with most of them points away Dr. Samura Kamara put. But to be honest with you, I repeat this. I don't see just like with the gravity, you understand. I don't feel say this go far enough. It's high time we begin talk then here. We know send any listen. You understand? But then probably when it come into office, you understand, let them look into this. We get from make even though President Bio failed the people based on statistics we gather, but he was saying something where say we get for make corruption unfashionable. You understand?
But
this,
it is not unfashionable now.
yeah, exactly.
Now it don't worst.
Now it don't worse.
In President Bio, in just they talk with in feel for talk. The reason why I believe say Dr. Samura put 5.9 because he believes say anything we in say in politics they execute time. So then 5 point they go a long way. As we mentioned under the punishment, maybe it just brings a compulsory prison terms inside Mr. Kabu. If not 3 years, it depends to the what you thief. If not 2 year prison terms, 5 years, let them begin jail people. Whoever I be, let them begin jail people.
And honestly, sometimes the political leaders and they get for create the tone. I mean, create the tone in the sense, the language, the action we send. And they talk now, I know they sit down and they defend or what they praise. I don't state facts. One of the reasons we make Anes Baikoma be succeeding in first time now because it was no nonsense man. It was so strict to the point that people were shocked back then when he fired in one time frame where them be there through thick and thin. When Kemosi say when they are accused for bringing drugs at the country without wasting time, then just kind of power it pull on. I mean,
It starts with first that former NIG minister. What's her name? With that
after to Kaba.
Yeah.
Yeah, Absatu Kababak was one casualty. So, like, the point what they make here is, them plans here, this particular side, I don't know if, I mean, this is qualified. I agree with this person at the comment section, they talk about execution. China, 30 years ago, you know what they talk, and people who they listen, when they know what they talk, some of them. 30 years ago, China, or 40 years ago, now like we now the same like Salon, not so?
Yeah, of course.
Exactly. How did they do it? How? Now magic, not so magic. Now some of them robust here. Because imagine whenever for financing, the death penalty should be included. I agree with this person who puts now this comment. The reason is very simple. Oh man, imagine health. People who they thief money in health. How much life then they deprive? How much life then they take?
How much life then they deprive? I get opportunity at some one time. I get opportunity for see some transaction between Ministry of Health and Ministry of Finance. In fact, let me say something today, Mr. Kagbo. Once they come for defraud Sierra Leone, they no sabi Timni, they no sabi Mende, they no sabi APC, they no sabi SLPP. They connive against the country. They all the civil servant them. Then they connive. You see, the politician a bad name, then can tote. Most of the politicians and they can't appoint them. Now, these civil servants, then they can't tell them, say, so thing they under, so project they under, so thing they under. They are. And the last commission of inquiry focus on politicians. You can't find out, say, no, you will catch any politician. The people they focus on. Now, the civil servant, the way they thief the country money. Now, the same civil servant, the way they thief this money, and they sponsor the political party, they back. So, the mere fact that you don't begin sponsor me, the moment I become president, I ignore you. So, if you the work, you know, ordinary procurement officer, you can't give me 400 million. I'm not going to ask you a question. Who say pull 400 million? Your procurement officer, I know they get reach 3 million as a loan. Then when you can have power, I go give you big job for celebrate you more. Then you go thief back more and more. Now, then at all, when it comes to the political will force 9 for day for sort this problem out.
Thank you.
Without the political will, corruption will go done as a loan.
You're right. I agree with that. Last one day, the political will, everything boiled to that. But anyway, I go happy if Dr. Samura Kamara therefore revisits the punishment, because this is not go far enough for scared anybody. Fine.
No, not go far enough.
Yeah, not go far. Fine. They seize me property, forfeiture. I mean, what's it? Yeah, I'll go do it, incentive day. So this one we hope.
Me not believe in execution. I don't believe in killing people.
No. Honestly, I know, Mr. Bremer, the way we come today, the way Salon don't day. Believe me, until we get for do drastic. Okay, execution, maybe even if we not do, but not look something what actually they cause serious. I mean, the deterrent.
You know, Mr. Kagbo. One reason why I not like these guys where they come on NPRC. All of them are not like them. You know why?
Go ahead.
They been get opportunity for sort the problem out. Like how JJ Rawlings do in Ghana. Because when they can have power, they come in the name of fighting corruption. But they're not doing, they can join back. In fact, they become worst. Because they're not in the deal with constitution. Now decree them in the deal with. Then for don't sort the problem out for we like how JJ Rawlings do them. Ghana, if you go there today, people in Ghana appreciate JJ Rawlings.
Well,
then corrupt judge they all, he kill them.
Yeah, what way exactly? When that comes, we have to start somewhere. That I make
because now we they practice democracy.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, so, you talk about we don't see the political will. I like that last part we told. The political will is not enough. The strength we don't see the force behind it. No, perhaps I don't say perhaps
because the politician when they fight corruption now focus on the opponents and they target the opponents, but exactly. The real people, let me tell you now today, if you go back, you go do audit, the real people already thief that country money, they not civil servant them. I tell you this now.
No, you're right, because
now they destroy that country. I tell you this today. It starts first from the recruitment. Then they recruit people who are not qualified, people who they're able mass. People who they're able say, go do this, go do that, they go do that, they now so then they do. So the political, if God make Dr. Kana power, a one fight corruption, starting from that prevention statement, he need for look at the recruitment process first and foremost.
Well, that's at the time for talk. We're still at the time for points. The death penalty, perhaps this. Yeah, it sounds outrageous. It sounds good in the 21st century in a democratic dispensation. Well, how will you translate this? Somebody responsible for the death of 500 lives in the hospital. That person did not deserve death. Somebody were responsible. Lord, we say, what we talk so Lord said, then discover, then found all evidence available. All evidence, then discover that this person is corrupt, and this person thief Salome money, and is responsible for the deprivation, for the killing, for the degrading of certain areas. And the entire, you can say someone thief an entire region money, an entire township money. That person, and I feel said that's not even enough. That's not even enough. If you want to see the gravity of the punishment, the crime we commit with death, commensurate. Now, they pull out of the picture no more, but it's not a punishment. That is not a punishment.
Yeah, but the thing is, once you come to the capital punishment, me that person we're always there against that. So I not go. Probably I'm not going to support you on that. We can still, but I tell you for free. With Milan, I did salute for the last 10 years, up to 2019. With your land, Saloma no one go prison. That sigma of me, I don't go to prison. It bitter. If we can utilize that, if a crime day for let person do life imprisonment for corruption, I think it's better. That punishment day, let God go kill her now before and but yes, if at all we ain't not get no option, yes, we need for that's the only way for sort the problem out. Then as I said earlier, in democracy, the greatest number nine we they think about, not minority. So be it. But the truth is,
like we honestly, like what it's a drastic problem need drastic solution. Not also think say.
Yeah.
So Tangais so foot need Tangais medicine. That's what they say, because this is not they come out nowhere. But anyway, we get a lot for talk on this. In fact, for buttress to let people understand why perhaps Dr. Samura Kamara picked this as number one. What we take on our international law, he said that in fact there is a convention where the UN agree, then pass a resolution on corruption. All listen quickly, let people just understand how this is dangerous.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am very pleased to be with all of you and to commemorate the 15th anniversary of the adoption of the United Nations Convention Against Corruption. As member states and partners, our common objectives include preventing violent conflict, building peace and security, protecting human rights, and charting a path to sustainable development. If we are to make progress towards these priorities, we need a solid foundation of trust and accountability. As the President of the General Assembly just said, Sustainable Development Goal 16 calls for reducing corruption and bribery, strengthening the recovery and return of stolen assets, and developing effective, inclusive and transparent institutions. This is a global appeal for fairness, a collective demand for justice. This event today is a timely opportunity to reflect on how the international community can make good on these commitments. Corruption affects developed and developing countries alike, and complicity knows no borders. Those who can least afford corruption suffer the most. It cripples economic development, stifles entrepreneurship, and deters investment. Society cannot function equitably and efficiently when public officials, from doctors to police, judges to politicians, enriches themselves rather than perform their duties with integrity. Corruption robs funds from schools, hospitals, infrastructure, and other vital services. Human trafficking and migrant smuggling illicit financial flows and illegal trade in natural resources, weapons, drugs, and cultural heritage are all made possible because of corruption.
All right, so you don't get Snandy. In fact, Doctor puts the return of stolen funds, where the UN chief just mentioned that part of this resolution, 15-year anniversary with informer. So it seems as if they're in line with international standard because, like you mentioned, a lot of people with a thief now then they export the money back and they send the money back abroad. So if doctors say it a partner with international multinational organizations for retrieve those funds, I think it makes sense because we see what Nigeria do in the case of Sani Abacha and others. So I feel say they're on track.
Yeah, well, that's why I stated earlier that to me that point it make me I'm glad more because when would they thief this money na so we the transport and come back na then part of it. First and foremost, not make it difficult for us na salon.
Okay.
Before the money they left they go. Let you investigate for society money. Come on. I mean, me and you there in England here. If you send more money than usual for the month,
Yeah,
then they block and force
then
you.
they
Then they block you first. Then you give proper reason and give evidence so you pull your money. Otherwise, then they release the money. So now from here, that first will start. If we
You're
able to
right.
sort them, yes,
You're
from
right.
there,
You're right.
let we know who side this money they come on. How comes you just they can't transfer this money? So who side this money they come on? Let's get a mechanism where we can with the government or in the president was I in go able monitor some of this thing occasionally just grab normal he can do a monitoring and cage would I get for cage and send and go prison and set example and set example so believe me Salomon not they do it again Mr. Kabu send Salomon for corruption 10 years imprisonment the next one day as long as they know say you serious when you mentioned earlier an escoma in first term when it be so serious for fight corruption and not be say corruption not the deal, but it be minimized. When it comes to this international organization, funnily, Mr. Kabu, most of the people already work for the international organization and then come all back from then develop and world them. So them of themselves then corrupt. They're not serious. For let Nigeria get Abacha money back, not to picking fet.
Yeah, you're right.
It take them okay for who's out this on England here first and foremost. When money can inside, I know they come here again. So if they all, so the point here is, anything don't say it come for come build international cooperation on that. It go able come say, look, people, this money now they give you with the investor, but people in the thief and back out and then people here where they count. We need for know, and then they know the banks they all they know how money they come.
Thank you. And because each and every currency gets say a number.
Yeah.
Then they know this is the thing. And sometimes I say the hypocrisy of the international community. They I think now lip service some of them they pay.
No, because now they own interest in the sick.
Exactly.
Anybody
You're right. Because they know. Go ahead.
And I know they say we better, but then self naya like me be feel what they mean a procurement person. I they work for government organization at the UK. Procurement corruption at the UK, it worth £100 billion every year. It not they happen at the level where they. I don't ask myself a question. The level where me day, it not they happen day. The level immediately after me, it not they happen day. That other level, it not they happen day. But who say they happen? Where they happen? So we not get for able eliminate and absolutely, but we try for mitigate. And one thing we then do now, we then do now in country, yeah. Every small crime where you commit, we deserve your own punishment, then go make sure say you serve that punishment day. If not for go sweep safe, if for serve that punishment day. That help. If you gonna boss, you not pay ticket, they meet you, they say you they pay more. If you not pay more, then go call police for you the next moment and go charge you, go court, you they pay that money. There. These are all the things, the petty things they all see say this abo, this now normal thing, but left. Now they was for start form. And then for start form. Let me tell you when this corruption starts in the 80s. When would they go school?
Yeah.
We they do art and craft first na school. They go, they get them, clay them. All of a sudden, it change. When I do clay again, they
Na
begin
soap.
ask me for bring
That's
soap.
soap.
Yes, exactly,
Soap.
exactly.
And from there,
And
money time start.
you know what to make corruption out for fatness alone. You know what to mean? Unless him, the president, will get absolute power. If Madabio be ready for fed corruption, if we're able to fet him.
Yeah,
But you
for
know why?
succeed.
Yes. If he not ready, he not going to fet the corruption. Because Mohammed, if me now you boss now office, I say, hey Mohammed, do this thing, bend the rules for me for so. Me now you boss. And one thing we then get force now, Sierra Leone as a whole, one thing we then get force, everybody they afraid manager, boss, everybody for talk to themselves in the fear.
Yeah.
So you know get alternative. I lecture at the University of Sierra Leone. Sometimes you see some boss them from the very university, they can be disabled, help this person for me now. You go say no. You a shock for say what?
Yeah.
So, but if we start from the top, if the president then everybody they willing.
No, like again, they go back to what you talk, where I still buy, where they talk about political will. It's all centered on political will.
Yeah.
You know, if the political will is there, Madabio should have been one of the best presidents because he was there and he saw everything, you know.
Yeah.
He gets huge experience, and if I don't make a big mark, but you choose otherwise, you know. So it's all boiled down to the political will.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, so anyway, Fambu, well, they can jump to the next page of Dr. Samura Kamara in manifesto. We get a lot of things for talk, but perhaps we know where we'll talk all, but we'll look at this. What would they ask you no more kindly now for help we share the platform? We want let more people learn from what are they seeing at the system. I think about 300 people in the watch we. If we're able to increase that to 400, 500, that's not bad because we want to let this go viral more. Una like the page for we, una like the page on Facebook, TPP Leo, Talking Point Platform. And as you watch, don't forget for like, not free, bro, not support we, bro, not like the page, not like, not give it thumb up so that we'll bring them here more and more, you know. So let's take some of our text there we can quickly before we come to the next part. This one, let's take the first one. This one, I know this one they come up from signature. Be bad, but at least don't be a liar, deceiver. I don't know. Let's see the type of refer to. Anyway, let's take this one. They come up from Andrew Stephen Levy. Every word this gentleman has spoken is a repetition of the same old political balderdash that has been regurgitated by our thieving, lying, and unpatriotic political leaders for the past 60 years. Andrew, thank you for those lines. This one, they come out from Lucia Ban. Hi, everyone at this platform. All about Salon. Yeah, thank you. This one, they come out from Kebi Junior Conte. Dr. Samura Kamara is the right person to change Salon. This one, they come out from Wonderful Justice. The British government is the most corrupt nation on earth. Watch all the countries they colonize, all are corrupt. Well, look like say the young I don't know if you put much for that text. You look like the young corruption fits them all.
Yeah, because the thing is that as I said earlier, me I dey work for government department, but every year reports they come on and the very professional what they every year report they come on say 100 billion pounds of corruption they take place. But when me they work, I know they see that they happen. No, so I don't know who side that they happen from.
You talk about level, you know.
Yes, yes. I they talk about level here.
Yeah.
So I don't know who side and they come out, but every year I report they come out say they been 100 billion procurement my practice in the country.
So this one they come up from Amina Majid Malik. The money they need for come back na salon. Yeah. Now that's this one come up from Binet Suma. Corruption beyond all reasonable doubt deserve the death penalty. I think this person is elect the death penalty where one option where fees until would make a big difference. This one they come up from Tikli Biet. Biggest sickness with both parties, implementation, enforcement, continuity. We sabi make laws. We they last for 2 weeks. Salon just too indiscipline from legislative, judiciary, and executive. Yeah, I think you're right, because indiscipline and lack of implementation can lead me to then can't hear how they talk. And this one they come up from Omar Jalong. The first thing we should do as a country is that providing a number to every person in the country as they begin NIN. Yeah, very important. Yes, a good point, Omar Jalong. This one they come up from Alaji Kamara. In Sierra Leone, the law is always for the powerless. Those in power are law-free. This is the virus that is infecting our country. So we'll not only text them for, so we'll come back and take the other set of text there. Family, when they come for can take the next part. We got a lot of things for discuss today. We're not even touch on the Samura letter where they invite and Commonwealth. We'll not go on the issues there itself. So we take a short break. Would they come back? We'll take a short break. Would they come back? Maybe. Okay, let's take a short minute break. Would they come back?
Country slow, we want for no. Why not they grow? Yeah, hey, bo, we want for no. We want for no. Wait till make we country they go slow. Wait till making all they grow. Yes, so I can for sure. Yes, I can for sure that thing them way they make we know they grow. Then now we they die from. If I they try for go before, I beg bo. We are not make us slow. No.
Come through the Talking Point platform. Would they come live na Facebook Talking Point platform, and would also they come live na YouTube TPP Leone. If not the first thing is for January, we want for use this opportunity for welcome you. And for let you feel at home, this na you platform. That's not for all Sierra Leoneans. We there as progressive voice them for talk for the interest of the country. Today we discuss Dr. Samura Kamara in manifesto. Now only two things that we talk on. The first thing we don't know when corruption, crime and corruption. The next one we can talk about affordable housing. And so we are still valuable viewers, fans, supporters. We don't do with you through and throughout this time. We want for appreciate you now. We tell you plenty. Thank you. Do you want to continue for Apple share the platform for make it reach to the height we all will be happy for. Let be more enviable. All right. Now let me jump into the next one. Mr. Bremer, you see the next one. What you get? Maybe perhaps you go read them for you from your side. Affordable housing, or you go still continue for if we analyze that side whilst we go to which one you prefer?
I go up analyze from the side.
Okay. Now let we go on the affordable housing. But family, and I think I just want to remind we all, see, the thing is the affordable housing I want to with one short video. The reason we make our anchor with short video, Singapore. You can put small, compare Singapore and Salon 30 years back, not too far, more or less we at the same level. Now, let's see what affordable housing do in Singapore before we can read waiting Dr. Samura Kamara one can do na Salon on affordable housing. All right, so okay, this guy there, that guy one keep. All right, so from the Lord, seems as if we get issue with this clip. All right, so Lord, the search for seems to be coming up. Okay, so the affordable housing, according to Dr. Samura Kamara, my policies on housing will be actions aimed at ensuring that all members of society have access to safe, decent, and affordable housing. Our policies typically involve collaboration between government agencies, private sector actors, and civil society organizations to promote affordable housing solutions that meet the needs of different segments of society. Some of the key components of my policy on affordable housing may include na 5 points he puts, but it seems as if this is ambitious plan. This is an ambitious plan. Number one, it's a financial assistance. We will employ strategies to provide financial assistance to low-income households, such as subsidies, tax credit, and rental assistance program. Mr. Bremer, help the people that may understand what in Dr. Samura mean on this one.
Before I even explain that, if only not to Dr. Samura been put this point where I know say in not to layman, I will be asked question say who's the money they come off for finance this. But I'm sure you don't think through, and know who's the money they come out for do that. When he say we will employ strategy to provide financial assistance to low income household, I don't know which strategy we get for use, but here in the UK, when here in the UK, government they pay if it's a low income household you come out. Government they pay you council tax. Government they pay you rent, some or full rent. We know that they happen now. I will assume something like that you want for do. People that we're not able to afford the much of their rent, sometimes it go subsidize. They use the word now short as subsidy, tax credit. Sometimes it go subsidize for them. The only concern I will have again, the officers that we get for hand to learn can make a money making machine as well. So a better way it put corruption as a number one priority. So once he sort the corruption out, then it jump onto the housing, then it will sort this problem out. But I will assume this is the strategy. If possibly not able paying rent, it go subsidize. It go assist. Use and I say rental assistance program. I don't know how it get for one until we see the wider manifesto. That we will know. But not this exactly it mean. Any low income household, it will provide subsidies. Sometimes that means it will pay part of your rent or fully of your rent. Or if you then build the local houses the way government they build, then go say, yeah, you take this one, go sit down there, pay cheap price instead of you pay the normal price there. This exactly what I mean by this.
All right. Because I actually worry. I actually worry about this particular one. This particular manifesto, it seems I don't know, over ambitious, or I don't know, it really, really, because we are talking about we get housing crisis in the country.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not about we having outlandish promises. You know, the last program I do here, I talk about the need for politicians, whether even manifesto, even practical in real contest as Sierra Leoneans. You understand? I've even come up with that provocative question there, program there, whether really would translate. Because in more,
So that's why I said, if in any other Sierra Leonean talk this, I go question that. Because me, they tell me in politics, say you they can't do this, they can't do that, they can't do that. I must ask you, say they pull the money.
yes.
Who say they pull the money for can't do this? Where you talk say they can't do. But as I know, and no go say they can't do this when another see where he could get the money from for can't do am. You know, talker.
Yeah, well,
So
just
this is the luck for Sierra Leonean, and this is the reason why Sierra Leonean then get for vote for him, because then promise here now promise where if you fail, you not deliver, and the people then go kick you out. The people of Sierra Leone are not
yeah,
like the people of Trade.
yeah.
Well, I mean, they promise them bread and butter factory or whatever factory. They are aware of that. Then they talk when they not succeed, then they are aware of that. Even though then they say I don't go promise back 50 factories and I put local. You not talk about 50 factory in the entire country. You go talk about 50 factory in a put local.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
When
No,
anyway,
yeah,
yeah,
no, Lord will just focus on their manifesto, yeah. But anyway, this particular, I go one, then Lord will know the details about this
yeah,
because, Lord be honest, Mr. Brahma, the problem about we Sierra Leoneans, majority of Sierra Leoneans, I don't know if not the level of understanding, the education, or I don't know. I know that not of put down anybody do yeah, or do they talk about general in the sense once we can pay more attention on we like for pay more attention for we can like for cover, we like for cover. Even if we see the two, because now party then our power or now party one kind of power, even when we know say this is not feasible or this is the ambogui as a nation we tend for ignore. It's high time that you talk something. The politics or the where the pan play right now as alone. Like a brand new politics. I go say so. I hope people can continue for show more interest in politics because from I don't know, maybe you get your own perception from what you see of recent time. Then few years the way Sierra Leoneans across the aisle, everywhere in the world, how them pay attention on politics and often say we don't get that kind of level of engagements.
no,
And people get more interest now. So if Dr. Samura Kamara they come with this, I mean go look at outlandish promise for say, I not talk about other people in unit. I love look at because therefore can't talk about SLPP in future. Affordable housing, it looks a challenge, like you they talk about who said this money they come out.
yeah. Me now me main concern outside the money they come out. But as I said again, this very person, go talk something where go do. It might don't see say there's somewhere where this money get for come out.
Because even even SLPP then become count one guy from Gambia that something like TASA program we say they can build affordable housing for Sierra Leonean, they're all over the place. But I know say this not just maybe. So
No,
it's
that guy they wait to make one for mention. That guy they na private sector, na business in can do for make profit.
yeah, but
In this case, waiting Dr. Samura they talk, it's not about making profit. Although I see in point 3 talk about public-private partnership.
you talk about
Yes, but
yeah.
this guy will come on from Gambia, not to a private, public-private partnership. He can't do business for himself. He can. So the houses away they can build now, people away will afford them. Waiting the doc they talk now about this now people we not able to afford them.
All right, so
People and they we not able to afford them.
Okay, so log on at the next. We wish Salon well, actually, but no more. It's time we begin to question some of them here. Begin the because Madabio promised Salon people and 536. You now witness all people and I witness how much of them, if he even deliver 20% of that. So I
You
still
know,
a doubt.
you
I
know,
s-
you know, Mr. Cabo, I woke one day saloon, I woke up and travel everywhere. Some old houses the way they go. You know, say this house they don't belong from 1930. Um, if you go like Sweden and get some bodos the way and they make, or even IKEA, or yeah, IKEA, and get some bodos the way and they sell. We They're decent, very decent. Then if you think say na saloon, government want build houses then, for example. First and foremost, stone will be cheaper. Only thing government need for do, just buy the quarry machine them. You employ people and for broke the stone there. So the cost don't count down for you first. You know get for buy stone. Sansan de boku na the country. Maybe now the other things are more you get for buy. The labor is cheap. So maybe government for build a decent house for an individual, sometimes it will cost you $10,000.
all right, we hope so. I
So
honestly,
if,
as a patriotic Sierra Leonean,
Mhm.
I wish for every president or every presidential aspirant or anybody sit down there for make it do wonders.
Yeah,
That's for make
yeah,
it do wonders.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
but
no,
but you need for tell we back who side the money they come out
thank
for
you.
build the house here. We want for no because we normally you can't tell we say they can't build houses. Then tomorrow money no they for build them, and this is the case. This is the case over the years. Even ordinary member of parliament go stand. He go promise, not
Yeah.
knowing that in role, not to for go build bridge, not to for go do this. In role now for help scrutinize the government, make
Yeah.
laws, and enroll there or influence a decision. We go come na in area then fix something. But then go promise. Because the thing is, you be mentioned something earlier under the corruption thing. The problem we are facing in Sierra Leone, we not dishonest people, Mr. Cabo. So they fly na you go na salon, you go tell somebody to, they take you serious. But if you lie pana, they take you serious
Yeah.
past where you tell and to go. That is a fact about we. And that the politician they are aware of that, and I make they're not afraid. They're not afraid. Because now that the people that want
No,
you.
you're right. The thing is, La does scout something, pattern to this, but for La just buttress, maybe you don't see this clip yet. I go do a favor, Naya, for the way we don't encourage politicians and I'm not afraid we right. I'm listen this part, please. Listen this, please.
Leadership, they have been so learnable. And whenever they stand to contribute in parliament, they exhibit with dexterity. You can attest to that. Today, they believe in the vision of retired Brigadier Justice Manabio that indeed, giving him for sure another 5 years, our home districts that we represent will become a paradise, and Sierra Leone at large will become a paradise. Thank you very, very much.
So yeah, how can I mean I don't know, maybe sometimes I know they create fine one. I know they understand. What in
Uh,
this man they mean say this will become a paradise by extension Sierra Leone if in 5 years by giving President Bill. At the point when I bring a car, just for tell you say this a parliamentarian. Imagine
yeah.
a parliamentarian they
Now,
lie
now,
like
now,
this.
now, which language they talk just now?
I
Now,
don't even
Creole,
know language.
English.
I don't know if na Chinese or na Spanish.
Oh,
I don't even know.
okay. Okay. Oh,
You
I
see?
understand. The thing is, maybe if we get oil money, we will fix salon inside 5 years. That if we're not corrupt. But apart of that, we we need for find way how for generate money. I know say money they salon. I could tell you for free, Mr. Kago, money they salon. But a lot of people they always say, oh, mineral resources, we're not a rich nation. But how we go able to quantify these mineral resources we will get? Where the government only gets 4% of the money. Maybe we need for change that. Maybe we will not see it, Dr. Samura in manifesto on mining, but maybe we need for change that 4%. Maybe if we change them, then Dr. will tell we say this affordable housing are they pull them for mining money.
All right, so
because taxes, how much
Yeah.
taxes then they pay in Salome? Even for pay workman them, if the UK not support a project support, we're not able to pay workman them. The money they leak. Who's the money they leak go? So the same people them, we're supposed to get the money. So if we sometimes probably if we come corruption, money go there. So that first point, say when in kind of power, it go stop corruption. Maybe if I give you a time frame, like I don't give you a time frame of 100 days, it go fix the basic of the economy. Like give you time frame, say if you come back 100 days, he go see how much he go stop corruption. Okay, no stop them because they know we will stop them, but minimize them. Sometimes we minimize them, we go able to get money now for build all the houses here. Sometimes that not in plan because all the and a bullet point number we see will not go in depth yet.
Yeah. So I like the way you come up with the thing in the sense this are open mind. Yes, it's good for let a person belong, but sometimes we get for look at the reality because back then tell they talk so people ain't ever keep this. We never know. Probably after 5-6 years or 2-3 years, anything can happen. Any positive thing can climb up to any position at the wall. Anything possible under the sun. Would I believe say some man for be a president for the second time as alone? This is just a possibility endless. So we get people will get reference back to you message.
Yes, of course.
So okay, mindful because this platform get a lot of responsible people who they watch here, all walks of life. So that I make who they talk with the country at heart. How realistic affordable housing in Sierra Leone, given the level of poverty? It's very serious. I hope then we will explain to we this. I hope one day we will go learn on the campaign manager or even Dr. Samura Kamara and said, like I explained to the people exactly. Then it will make a big difference. Anyway,
I'm sure it gets something inside them. This is not bullet point no more.
All right.
I wish you get opportunity for asking this question one day. Outside the money they come off, all fix all them problems. So
that would be something interesting to ask. Log on at the second part. It say zoning and land use policies. We will promote the development of affordable housing, such as zoning regulations that require a certain percentage of new development to be designated as affordable housing or incentives for developers who include affordable units in their development. What you make up of this zoning?
Yeah, this one is achievable. This one is achievable.
How this one achievable?
The only problem is for Freetown land. I don't think say land go there again. For Freetown, where short thing go happen, but Freetown is not Sierra Leone alone. As they go along, they see a lot of land. So if any developer come now, as it's talking rightly so, this Pakaba enforce government, that's what it do. Just after the war, no investor, no one invest in a salon, and no one can they. So waiting Pakaba do, he give incentive to the investors the way they come. That encourage them for come. So now this kind point they try for talk. So if any developer want come, then go break down the tax for you, will pay much of tax. In return, you say for reduce your price.
Okay.
And they give you something, let you say, give me back. Now that's it talk. So it's achievable. Land bokuna saloon. So already we need for do now. Okay, this land would they cancel and give you, or will they give you? with a cut here we give you. You develop. But when they sell, consider saying now we give you the land, the price for candle. We sign agreement.
All right. Okay. Now we jump and go to the number 3. It's a public-private partnerships. We will collaborate with agencies and private sector actors to develop and finance affordable housing projects, short as through the use of tax incentive or other financing mechanism. I think now that's it. Go ahead. These are the number 3
Number
points.
3, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. The private public-private partnership.
Yeah.
Me na a fan of a very big fan of because in most cases government not can get money for do certain project, but when the public private sector can inside, then they work in partnership with government. They're able to pour money into it. But then once they pour money into it, as I mentioned back earlier, you can invest. Me they give you a tax break. Sometimes I'll tell you say not pay tax for 5 years. But this tax way you will not dey pay for 5 years, you forgive me people them. So if they rent the house, you for reduce the price. So government and the private come then go agree on that. Then the government go decide, say, okay, you not pay tax, then you build the houses, rent them for cheaper price. So itself is very achievable. Not only self the PPP, not only in housing, in a lot of projects in the UK, in the developed world, and they use a lot of PPP. A
Okay.
lot.
Yeah, I think one of we our regular viewer already post say it's also happening in the USA, especially for the senior citizens, including healthcare. The only problem, those in authority don't want to sacrifice all they are thinking of enriching themselves. That's Betsy Cisse. They come up from Betsy Cisse, with the type of say probably supporting points. But anyway, now we'll go on the 4th one. Support for non-profit organizations. Support for non-profit organization for affordable housing solutions, such as community land trust or housing cooperatives.
In self, I'll go agree with you. Say, a
This one
achieve.
achievable.
Yes, I go agree. Say achievable because I know they try to compare the UK and Sierra Leone. But I remember when I first moved to the UK in 1999. Now a charitable organization housing I've been there for a while before I move out, and I think if I not lie, I think one charity organization they build some houses then Newton somewhere there. If I get it right, I'll go confirm that with my brother. I'll go let you know. But I think then they can build houses there. Charity organization will come on. So if the government say okay, then if their organization I don't can law support them, yes. Support not necessarily means say something government go can't give them money, but so government go lessen the laws of foreign national for acquire land, maybe give them free land. Say okay, una bill as long as it's cheap, it achievable.
Okay.
Yeah, I think something like that they on or it be don't start. I don't know, but I'll confirm that.
All right. So now going on the last point, housing vouchers. We will introduce programs that provide vouchers to low-income households to help them access affordable housing in the private rental market. Our affordable housing program will require the sustained commitment and engagement of all stakeholders, including government, private sector actors, civil society organization. It must be based on sound evidence and data, and it must be continuously evaluated and adjusted to ensure its effectiveness in addressing the complex challenges associated with affordable housing. Um, what do you think? Is this achievable by this?
I'm not too sure of this housing voucher. How this get for
Okay.
work? What is the difference between this housing voucher and the first point, the financial assistant?
Yeah. Well, let we look at this way. The first one is we employ strategies to provide. In other words, maybe by giving maybe jobs, perhaps
Mm-hmm.
that could be a strategy, perhaps
Mm-hmm.
for financial assistance
Mm-hmm.
or subsidies, because in talk about subsidies back
Yeah, you
up.
talk about subsidies. So a voucher now is not in a form of subsidies.
Yeah, well, it depends on what it actually it mean, the definition and the context when the type of talk on.
Maybe I go all this point for now. I'm not going to analyze that until I see details on that because I know one day 1,000 voucher. I go all this point for now, Mr. Kago.
Okay. All right, no problem. That's fair enough. So we go tap familiar. This program therefore the continue. We get a lot. I get fortunately for we now talking point platform here, we already get a huge chunk of Dr. Samura Kamara in manifesto. So now stick and glue here. We go come back. I'm not sure tomorrow, but Saturday, of course, yes. We go come Saturday. We can take back. The next one we go discuss transport, we go discuss governance, and then two issues and then we go look at. Enough of Dr. Samura Kamara, the manifesto. Let we share something with sometimes una don't see or something una don't see it. We let's share this. Family now they see this on a screen, right? Now they see this on a screen, right? This letter una see so awareness times. Now then do the investigative journalism, then get this letter. Now this now the letter where the Commonwealth. I know say blurry, they don't copy and boku na that make I not able to see and clearly. But me say go manage for reader. It's so hard for read anyway. It's so hard, but I will do my best. Commonwealth Secretariat, Secretary General, dear Mr. Kamara, I am writing to invite you to join us for the Marlborough House Dialogue together with His Excellency President Julius Madabio, the presidential candidate for Sierra Leone People's Party, SLPP, on the 4th May 2023 to speak on the future of good governance and democracy in Sierra Leone. The Marlborough House Dialogue, organized by the Commonwealth Secretariat, are aimed at giving our member states an opportunity to discuss together issues pertaining to their democratic realities and the developmental needs, while taking the different formats as appropriate to the occasion. It is it's an opportunity. It's a good platform for political thoughts and leaders to share ideas, candid perspective, and innovative solution before an intimate, curated gathering of the Commonwealth diplomats and dignitaries and invited guests. The Commonwealth has played a significant role over the years within the international election observation community in the development and enhancement and promotion of international cooperation in observing a core among these in our developmental stride. It is rec formula on the idea. It's so hard to read anyway. So it's so blurry anyway. Sierra Leone is an aspiring example, example of sustained progress in democracy, Marlborough. But anyway, family, it's so hard for read. Not just waste much time on that, but we don't get to the main point. What you make up of this, you see, when they address this letter, they don't address President Bio as president. They address her as presidential aspirant. And today the 4th. And the thing is, we don't see the government pull a press release because now we know say last share waiting keke Thomas share keke Thomas say la just share waiting keke Thomas say. The reason we make a cow this keke Thomas say love this. Yusuf Keke Thomas say today HE President Bio will depart Sierra Leone for United Kingdom to attend the coronation ceremony of His Majesty King Charles III. The president will be accompanied by the First Lady, Dr. Fatima. But what you make of this? The Commonwealth letter, is this sort of like, what you think anyway? You don't see the letter. I know some get prior knowledge on
This is first and foremost this waiting Keke Toma just write so something where I think Silver Blyden don't write same thing on one long article where I read then there. So it just copy and paste the waiting the human say. But anyway, then get one famous activist in salon before even this letter they come out.
Yeah.
It don't talk about that. I don't tell the one who salon waiting at the reason where then they care for. I mean I mean, say, what in this guy they talk? Until when I see this letter now, then I say, oh, okay. How this guy they get the information? Yeah,
honestly, Adebayo, you know, Adebayo, na himself I first again from this one.
Yes, I am from. So, but anyway, until this Keketo Martina, the government spokesperson, also, however, this nine say it's fair enough. But we see a letter, and that letter it come out from a credible newspaper. That they publish them. So I guarantee say the letter credible. And the letter mentioned in the president bio, they invite him. So if you then say not to ban this, sometimes maybe he use one stone for kill two birds. Maybe. But the point here is the Commonwealth Secretariat or the Commonwealth, it comprises of almost I think 53 countries after United Nations are the second most big organization at the world after United Nations. For let them call you say come law can do a dialogue because election they come. Probably then see something where we not able to see.
Yeah.
Probably they don't see something far where we not able to see. We cannot guess on this. I cannot tell you say not this, but as I say, we get this activist in a salon where anything we in talk, it can be. It not explain to we in audio say this 9 are the reason.
And in fact, he said on our address as president, as address as presidential aspirant.
Yeah, because I think the constitutional salon say 2 or 3 months prior to election, you cease for become a president. It's just the act normal day. By right, as it is now, Dr. Samura forget the same securities and we insecure the same number because they're all equal. Yes, now being president. Now democrats would practice not to a dictatorship who get na salon. So for follow the principles of the constitution. If they as president, maybe they act, but then the people away they know the law, now so they address them. But the key point here is for me is that people and they are far from here. Then call 2 people 2 presidential aspirants say, una come. Lord can't talk to una. Lord can't do dialogue. Dialogue on what?
Yeah, then put her here, dialogue.
Dialogue on what? Yeah. What in the happen when they can dialogue? What when I don't see what we don't know? What in the happen what we don't know? We the ordinary citizens. We don't know. Unless then come, maybe then go tell we waiting on the dialogue. If they're honest enough, then go tell we.
Yeah.
Maybe then go tell them say na secret dialogue. If in a secret dialogue, then go keep unto themselves.
Yeah, but the thing you will not even see government mention that self. Governor
No,
not
because
mentioned that.
because at the type of Mr. Kagwa, the type of be careful now for pick me words then waiting I go say to the government. If they address the current president as a presidential aspirant, it means that the government self don't seize. So if this for tell you say the government don't seize. So if the government don't seize, then nobody not there for communicate that. I will assume. Say they're not get nobody for communicate that because government don't seize.
All right. Okay. So
So Lord just say cancel.
well, Lord, yeah, I agree with that side. Yeah, Lord just assume that way. Yes, perhaps. The video I be try for puts for puts don't come on back regarding affordable housing. Waiting Singapore they do. I don't know if now from here, doctor get the inspiration. Let we just look quick one on this.
Public housing is often considered low in quality and high in crime, but it's a totally different story in Singapore. Government-built apartments in Singapore are clean, safe, and well-maintained, and about 80% of Singaporean households live in them. Singapore is also one of the few countries in the world to achieve almost full home ownership status. Over 90% of the city's households own their own homes. But it wasn't always this way. Here's how Singapore fixed its housing problem. In 1959, when Singapore obtained self-governance from the British, the city was having a severe housing crisis, struggling to accommodate its growing population. In 1960, Singapore's first Prime Minister, Lee Kuan Yew, and his government set up the Housing and Development Board, or HDB, a public housing agency with a mission to build rental units for the poor. At the time, many immigrants, including those from Malaysia, were living in unhygienic slums. Amid increasing racial tension between Chinese and Malays, the HDB had a hard time convincing them to leave their informal settlements for new high-rises. Then came the still unexplained fire which broke out in the squatter settlement of Bukit Ho Swee on the 25th of May 1961. An area of 400,000 square metres was razed, 4 people were killed and around 16,000 left homeless. The government successfully rehoused all of the fire victims within a year and built new housing on the site of the disaster in the next 5 years. Its speedy reaction won over the people and paved the way for future public housing projects.
Singapore must be one of the few places in the world where a statutory board satisfactorily completed everything it set out to do in its first 5-year plan.
By 1965, the HDB managed to build over 51,000 apartments, rehousing 400,000 people, a quarter of the then population, solving the housing shortage. Apart from renting out apartments, HDB also started to sell them in 1964. Singaporeans are required to save part of their salaries in a state-managed plan called Central Provident Fund. At first, the fund only provided for retirement. Then, in 1968, the government allowed the use of the fund for housing expenses, helping more people become homeowners. Unlike many other countries, Singapore's
That just a short one for compare Singapore back then, where they said begets on this issue. What should you take with this, given the fact that not too long ago, Singapore and Sierra Leone more or less are they at par? You feel Dr. Samura get inspiration from this, or how realistic given we own current circumstance?
Seriously, Mr. Kago, I would love to see the details of this manifesto because it's more of a bullet point we see, a caption.
Okay.
I'm sure I get something details. Maybe not so the Singapore model you get for use,
Okay.
maybe another model you get for use, maybe in the UK model you get for use, maybe in a Ghana model you get for use, maybe Rwanda, forget, or maybe even Libya, because Rwanda self don't do a lot on this.
Okay.
Maybe that you get for use. So let wait and see because
right.
what thing Rwanda do when they say affordable houses, they make sure say everything become affordable and use brick instead of cement, and we get that opportunity there for use bricks as well as alone, where it's more cheaper than cement and all of that. So sometimes it gets, let's try, if you able get all of the manifesto, which I'm no say get for release very soon, then we'll carry back and debate more on details point by point.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. Yeah. So let's take some few texts in back. Wait on the kind side. This one, I think we don't read about Andrew. Okay, Andrew Stephen Levy. Everything about our so-called democracy is prearranged and directed by the outside forces. Sierra Leone is controlled, manipulated, and remoted by an invisible neoliberal hand that decides our leadership. Yes, Aisha, welcome. Welcome, Aisha. Good evening. This one, they come up from Muswan. Adeba will tell the public about the ensuing dialogue. This one, they come up from Sarah Conte. The international countries are the very one bringing all these troubles among Africans. They are fringe. They are fringe. I think you answered. They are infringing on us with they are frying us with our own oils. I think, just clear, All right, so Fambul, now we just do test call. We go open the line, let una call and tell we what do not think about this. What do not think about this then 2 points here where we just don't analyze. Now you turn for talk. A lot of people and be once they ask when would they open the line. Well, now you turn for talk. What do you think about these two plans hold on discourse, Dr. Samura Kamara? You think say achievable? So if you want call at the number landing at the screen, +353 873 934 364. So call we now. Call we now and have your say. All right, while should we wait for calls in for Kainsai, let we look at the other side. One guy be put this. I know say a lot of people don't see this video, but for the people who don't see it, let we just bring and calm to now. This is a guy. I don't know if he well or well. Lord, listen this guy.
I don't prepare the pakam. When I see this, the whole salon in order to I mean one the cow time. When I see like bullets, I mean one the cow time. You see? So APC Cholombo party, una ready for will. See like bullets. You see the bullets? So no play. Yeah, this heat, the elect manabio, power pass, alone for better. Anybody who say they disturb that peace day, these people, the council, I will now go wait. We don't win the election, don't know, but for put you to order with the team now. Okay, so people are then as salon gentlemen, them you can contact me also for the bomber, for your good machine all over the world. We will deliver for you. Peace. Thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Bremer, what you make of this guy? If you say well,
if it's it's just the advert. They do business. Yeah, at the ending of the message, you say get the
APC Cholombo party.
Yeah, go ahead.
At the ending of the message, you say get a machine then they for sale. So
now so for adverts.
I see him, I laugh. It's just intimidation for intimidate people. This guy
all right.
Well, it is Turkey. If you been there, England, America, there are like Ufodor reporter, but we don't know what the people of Turkey go do. The mere factor self say all gone, he get right for all that gone day, all of that. Then as you ask question, he well, if he well, that's not a big question because somebody will well, they go all gone make video of himself. Where say something and go take that video, they can go to authority, they end up go arrest you and ask you say pull that gun day. Probably get mental problem.
Yeah, well, look at this one back. Take a look at this video back. You know, I don't know how the thing they go.
Don't try it. Tell them say anybody will say man have a power. In the Leone blood.
Well, you see, what are they talk? So even the soldier man there. Well, apart from this, lag you back another one. Lag you another one back. Lag you another one back. Listen this one back.
Listen, anybody say no one matter basic time.
The success chairman, the progress chairman, that the chairman is
anybody say you know what women are going second time.
Yeah, chairman.
Anybody say no one matter basic second time. Listen, anybody say no one matter basic time.
The success chairman, the progress chairman, that the chairman is
anybody say you know what women are going second time.
Yeah, chairman. Yeah, chairman.
Yeah, chairman.
Now talk and do. Sexy chairman. Sexy yes. Sexy yes. No, when are you guys? Chairman, when are sexy? The acting by sexiness.
Mr. Cabo, sometimes because that video are always the international community they see make them call the presidential aspirant into dialogue. Maybe I mean that soldier man, it be not that very soldier man they be not make video before we show him face. They were watching me. I know him voice, and now they call him name. He call himself Angry Lion. I ain't done there, Sabian. Then they go face the whole video back, then check him foot. They already work the same guy that one day. In a presidential guard, they very close to president. I know. But in terms of the other man, where they can know, in the under the influence of alcohol. I know that for sure. But he don't put himself into trouble. Let's assume, say,
yes,
something happened. This election, who said something will happen, they then kill APC people then. That man, they go prison, man. The world will live today, you know, they go away with things.
Yeah.
You make video, you talk to anybody who don't want president. If President Bio lose election, you know for go?
Well,
with all of this, now cowardness, with all of this, it shows say, now coward people. Because if you're not coward, you know they begin to threaten somebody, say, if you don't want this, now election.
Yeah.
If you President Bio don't work for the people of Sierra Leone, election day they come. You don't need for intimidate people. Then go vote for them. I think I watch one, two comedians them. Then say no to Pabado. If you they enjoy, vote for Madabio. If you they suffer, vote for Samura. So it's simple and easy, simple as that. You don't need for intimidate people. Let people go decide. If you not say you don't count 50 factory na put loco, because we count 50 factory na put loco. The whole of Western area and the northern area, they all longer job. You know how many people they employ? 50 factory. You know how many people they employ? You know.
But anyway, I think we don't come to the end of the program. Let me say let you let rest, and at least we don't get a quality time with we viewers, with people, with family now. This now we online family where them people are always ready for wait for we programs and then don't they push we for do better and continue for do more. And Family, we just tell them, we just want to use the opportunity for telling plenty thank you. We will tap the program here. The next program will come back with two things from the manifesto. Yeah, Mr. Bremer, what thing will be your last word to family?
I just say goodbye to my family. Low can rest now.
All right.
We don't tire.
Yeah.
We see una soon and talk to una soon.
All right. So family, I save this number. I know say perhaps today we not going to call, but I save this number. This number get for be a regular number when I go to call winner. That first one we don't pull on, and this one get for be the I think this will be a permanent number now. We will get to on WhatsApp, so now we'll get to our voices they heard on the program as well. Until then, bye bye.